Hello children, how are you all? I hope you all are fine at home with your parents. Today we will discuss chapter 13 Human Resources. We discussed in previous video, but I will explain one more time. Please children, don't forget what is resource. A resource is a source or supply from which a benefit is produced. It is a source or supply from which a benefit is produced. And we know resource can broadly classified into two types. One is renewable and non-renewable resources. So children, resource can broadly classified into two types. One is renewable and non-renewable resources. Children, we know renewable resources can be replaced by natural process as quickly as humans use them. So, if we are using the renewable resources, it can be replaced by natural process as quickly. So, what about a non-renewable? We know non-renewable resources are natural resources that cannot be replaced after they are used. This means that they exist in fixed amount on earth. So children, non-renewable resources are natural resources that cannot be replaced after they are used. So children, if we use the renewable resources, it can be replaced as quickly. But non-renewable resource cannot be replaced after they are used. So, we know resource is a source from which a benefit is produced. So, what is a human resource? Every country has natural resources such as minerals, water, forest, and air. But how best a country can utilize its natural resources for the welfare of its people depends on another resource, that is human resource. The people themselves are the human resource. So, the people themselves are the human resource. It is the only an educated and talented human resource. So, have you ever considered why humans are considered as a resource? This is because humans have an ability to transform gifts from nature into valuable resources that can be utilized for useful purposes. Let us take a closer look at why human resource is the most important resource. Human resource refers to the people who are part of the workforce. So, human resource is the most important resources. If there is no human resources, then all other non-living resources are useless. How is it? Okay. Taken an example. If you have any machinery in your home, if you do not have a workout, what is the uses of machinery? So, it is useless. So children, if we have a more than machineries but we never use means what happen? It is a useless. So all other resources need a human resources. That is only the human resources is the most important resources compared to others. Okay children, in this chapter we will discuss human resources. But children, we know what is resources and what is human resources. In this chapter, we will be discussing how people the greatest resources of the nation. So children, in this chapter, we discuss human resources. We know what is resources and what is human resources. And we will be discussing how people are the greatest resources of the nation. It is only an educator and a talented human resource that can use science and technology for the progress of a country and its people. Therefore, a country with a huge but mostly illiterate people would not make such progress even if it is rich in natural resources. So, children, humans are the only living beings who have the ability to think, explore, observe, experiment,
invent and create. So children, humans are the only living beings who have the ability to think, explore, observe, experiment, invent and create.
Through the age, humans have developed and used their knowledge to gain prosperity. They have learned to use the other natural resources to their advantage. The other resources become useful because of the input by the human resources. Investment in human capital yields a return, and it is done through education, training, and healthcare. It is truly known that a person who is educated earns better than an uneducated person. So, education is important for every human. Also, a healthy person is much more productive than an unhealthy person. It is really the well educated parents who understand the value of education and at the same time invest in their child's education to secure a better future for the child. So,
Children, well educated parents who understand the value of education and at the same time invest in their child's education to secure a better future for the child.
well, they have learned to use other natural resources of their advantage. People in some countries have been able to use their natural resources more effectively than other countries. So, people in some countries have been able to use their natural resources more effectively than other countries. They have made remarkable progress in the fields of science, technology, education, agriculture, and industry. So, science, technology, education, agriculture, and industry. They have made remarkable progress. The USA, the UK, Russia, and Japan are some advanced countries where the talent of the human resources has been utilized efficiently for the good of mankind. And India with the second largest population in the world. So children, which is the second largest populated country in the world? Which is the second largest populated country in the world? India. India is the second largest populated country in the world after China. Second largest population in the world has a huge human resource. If this population is educated and trained properly, it can transform India into a developed country. If this population is educated and trained properly, it can transform India into a developed country. Over the last 2 decades, the government of India has started paying more attention to the development of the human resource. It is providing free education, food, and other help to develop all sections of society into talented human resources. So, our India is providing free education, food, and to develop all sections of society into talented human resources. So, the effort of the government and other organizations on the
Education front have resulted in increased literacy in many states, and Kerala has set an example by becoming totally literacy. In Kerala, almost every citizen can read and write.
children. What is literate? It means able to read and write. It means able to read and write. So, children, people who can read and write, we can call a literate people. So, the people who are able to read and write, we can call literate people. So, children, India is blessed which rich natural resources. The natural resources in themselves are of no use if not utilized wisely and efficiently. So, the natural resources in themselves are of no use if not utilized wisely and efficiently. They utilize these resources efficiently. We need people who are educated, rational, intelligent, and skilled. The people of our country are called its human resources. They are a country's most valuable resources. So children, the people of country are called its human resources. They are a country's most valuable resources. So children, compared to other resources, human resources is the most important in the world. Without human resources, the remaining resources are not valuable. Children, let's discuss the current scenario. What is meant by scenario? A written outline of a film, novel, stage work giving details of the plot. A written outline of a film, novel, or stage work giving details of the plot. It is called scenario. That means one scene. In film, we can watch one by one. There are taking the more than scenes. That is the outline of a film. Okay, children. So, efforts are being continuously made by the government to develop our resources to meet the growing demands of the people. So, our government make the more than skill to develop our human resources. So, what do you mean by the demand? The demand means is nothing but as authority. What is it? As authority. However, these efforts are not bearing and desire fruit because of the following factors. So, the current scenario have some of the following factors are there. That is growing population and poverty. Let's start with growing population. Children, you can imagine a world without people. Impossible to think, isn't it? Yes. Without people, there would be no society, economy, or a culture. The current population of India is at 138 crores. So, is the second highest in the world. Children, do you know which is the highest populated state in India? Uttar Pradesh. According to Uttar Pradesh is the highest populated state in India with a total number of 166 million people. So in Uttar Pradesh 166 million people are there. While other hand states like Sikkim and Lakshadweep have the lowest population 0.5 million in Sikkim and only 60,000 people in the island state of Lakshadweep. We know Uttar Pradesh is the highest populated state in India. Sikkim and Lakshadweep have the lowest population in India. So children, which is the highest populated in India? Uttar Pradesh. Compared to other states, Sikkim and Lakshadweep are lowest population. Furthermore, about half of the country's population is concentrated around five major states. It is a five major states like Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh and Bihar. So children, half of the country's population is concentrated around five major cities. There are Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Bihar and Andhra Pradesh. We know though Rajasthan is the largest state in India, while Goa is the smallest state in India. But Rajasthan population contributes to only 5.5% of the total population of India. So children, Rajasthan is the largest state while Rajasthan is the largest state in India, while Goa is the smallest state in India. Compared to Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan population contributes to only 5.5% of the total population of India. The uneven distribution of population is due to the varying population density of the country, and the population density is calculated. Population density is equal to total number of people per unit of area. So children, the population density is calculated is like a total number of people per unit of area. Or unit of area means one particular area. Yes. Also, the population density is largely dependent on the geographical location and geological factors. Therefore, states like Assam, Himachal Pradesh, and other hilly terrains have a lower density of population. Compared to the plain area, the hills have a lower density of population, while the northern plains and the coastal areas like Kerala, West Bengal and Maharashtra have very high population density. Next, the population growth is determined by the annual growth rate, which is calculated in percent per annum. Like if there is an increase of 2 people per 100 people of the population, then annual growth rate would be 2%. So, the population growth is determined by an annual growth rate. And another important aspect of population study is the change in population. This is largely influenced by three main factors like birth, death, and migration of people in a given year. So, this largely influenced by three main factors like birth, death, and migration of people in a given year. We know birth and death. So, what do you mean by the word migration? Migration means movement of large number of people from one place to another place. So, birth rate. The number of children born per 1,000 people in a year. And death rate. The number of people die per 1,000 people in a year. So, birth rate and the death rate is calculated in particular place. What is most noteworthy here that the birth rate in India is and has always been higher than the death rate. Compared to the birth rate, the death rate is lower, which is a major reason behind population growth. It is a major reason. So, the third one is a migration. So, migration means movement of large number of people from one place to another place. In the same time, group of people is moving from one place to another place, it will call a migration. Yes, the third one of the most important factors of population change is migration. Migration can be internal between states like a between states and international, it means between countries. Migration can be internal and international. While internal migration does not lead to population change, it means the states between the states. Internal migration is not lead to population change. It does not affect the population density in the migrate areas. But international migration is affected the population because it will dip between the two countries. Let's move to poverty. Poverty means not having enough money for basic needs such as food, water, shelter, or toilets. So, all living things, especially the human needs, basic needs, that means food, water, shelter, toilets, job, etc. Like some basic needs is important for humans. So, the poverty means not having enough money for basic needs such as food, water, shelter, toilets, etc. Many people in different countries live in poverty, mostly in developing areas of Africa, Latin America, and some parts of Asia. So, mostly developing areas of Africa, Latin America, and some parts of Asia. In the developed world, this does not apply that many people are seen as the working poor. They have a job but do not earn enough money for basic things such as food and a home. In most developed countries, people without jobs receive money from the government, but this is often less than they need for comfortable life. In most developed countries, people without jobs receive money from the government, but this is often less than they need a basic needs. And poverty is a hurdle in a way of country's progress. What do you mean by the word hurdle? It means a barrier or difficult come over. In Tamil, tadai. Yes, poverty is a hurdle in the way of country's progress. One way of helping lower poverty is by educating poor people so that they can start contributing to a nation's economic development. And education teaches the poor about their rights and may show the right path to become an important part in growth and expansion of the country. So, educating teaches the poor about their rights and the path to become an important part in growth and expansion of the country. One of the most important things that is needed to make a country richer is for the government to want to help poor people do better. Without that, it is hard for people to become better off. About 22% of the people living in India are poverty affected. That means it will affect the people. Such people often live in slums, do not get enough to eat and are unemployed. They cannot support their families and live in adverse. Adverse means harmful. So they are live in harmful conditions. So poverty is a result of growing population which causes a shortfall of resources. Growing population and poverty. Here, growing population is one of the main problems for all over the world because it affects basic needs for humans. We know what is basic needs? Yes, food, water, shelter, air, and job. So, the basic needs that are affected by the growing population. So, our government take some of the steps to protect the population. So, what is this? Spreading education, providing health and housing facilities, and ensuring that each person gets to meet the basic necessities of food, clothing, and shelter are a few ways which can be human resources in India. Besides, the following steps are being taken by the government. So, our government take more than steps. First, family planning. People in towns and cities are being made aware of importance of small families. The family planning is being encouraged and birth control measures are being made popular. This is being done to control the growth of population. Second, loans and self-sufficient. Land and houses are being allotted to the poor. So the poor peoples, the government allotted to the free land and house. Loans at allow. For poor people, the government give loans at low interest are being offered to poverty-ridden people so that they can start their own work to support their family. This is a step forward to eliminate poverty and make these people self-sufficient. Children, what is loans? A loan is form of debit. A loan is a form of debit. It is when you receive money from a friend, bank or financial institution in exchange for future repayment of the principal plus interest. So, the loan is a form of debit. What do you mean by the word self-sufficient? Needing no outside help in satisfying one's basic needs, particularly with regard to the production of food. Third one, government school. The government is running lakhs of schools all over the country. Here, primary education has been made compulsory for all students to uproot illiteracy. So students, our government give the free education for all over the world. Fourth one, dispensary or hospital. Dispensaries, healthcare centers and hospitals are being started in rural areas so that villagers receive better medical attention. And big cities and towns, there are big hospitals. The government provides big hospitals. And rural areas and villages, the government provide the small clinic. Fifth one, Krishi Vidyalayas. Employment opportunities are being created equally in villages and town. Agricultural practice are being improved for better produce. And we know agricultural is a backbone of India. So our government giving more importance to our agriculture. Here schools for farmers or Krishi Vidyalayas are being started to educate farmers on use of better agricultural techniques. It is an agricultural university in West Bengal. The university aims to provide higher education in theoretical and technical fields of agriculture. It will give the more benefit for the farmers. Children, let's recall few new words. Illiteracy. The inability to read and write. That means lack of knowledge in a particular subject. It is called illiteracy. So illiteracy means the inability to read and write. Child labor. The term child labor is often defined as work. Labor. The term child labor is often defined as work that deprives children of their childhood, their potential and their dignity. So the term child labor is often defined as work. Migrate. Movement of large number of people from one place to another is called migrate. Movement of a large number of people from one place to another. Adverse. Preventing success or development. Preventing success or development, that means harmful. Loans. A loan is a form of debit. Loan is form of debit. Repay. The action of paying back a loan. The action of paying back a loan is called repay. Interest. Money paid regularly at a particular rate for the use of money lent or for delaying the repayment of debt. Money paid regular at children. Let's discuss book exercise. So children, take your page number 100. A. Fill in the blanks. Question number 1. Growing dash leads to the shortage of basic necessities. Growing dash leads to the shortage of basic necessities. The answer is population. The answer is population. Children, we know what are the basic necessities? Yes, our basic needs. What are the basic needs? There are food, water, shelter, job, etc. So, these are the things the human need basic. Without basic needs, we never fulfill our life. So, which one is the main reason for the shortage of basic necessities? Yes, the population. For example, if you are moving to your class with 10 chocolate, but in your class you have 15 students, what will we do? If we have 10 students means we give the chocolate each one. But here we have a shortage of chocolate. So we have to share the chocolate to everyone. This is the main reason. So the growing population leads to the shortage of our basic necessities. So student, the growing population is affect basic necessities. Second one. Dash is the most populous state in India. Dash is the most populous state in India. The answer is Uttar Pradesh. The answer is Uttar Pradesh. Third one. Dash refers to the people and their skills that are used to produce goods and services. Dash refers to the people and their skills that are used to produce goods and services. The answer is human resource. The answer is human resource. Children, we know human resources is the most important resources. If there is no human resource, then all other non-living things resource are useless. Taken an example. If you have a machinery, if you don't have workout, what is the use of machinery? Is useless. So, without human resources, other resources are not valuable. So, human resource refers to the people and their skills that are used to produce goods and services. Children, here goods means is a shop, the small shop. Fourth one, a condition in which a person lacks money to occur the basic needs is called dash. A condition in which a person lacks money to occur the basic needs is called dash. The answer is poverty. The answer is poverty. Children, many people are seen as the working poor. They have a job but do not earn enough money for basic things such as food and a home. This is called poverty. So, a condition in which a person lacks money to occur the basic needs is called poverty. Fifth one. Dash are being started to educate farmers to use better agricultural techniques. Dash are being started to educate farmers to use better agricultural techniques. The answer is Krishi Vidyalayas. The answer is Krishi Vidyalayas. It is an agricultural university in West Bengal. The university aims to provide higher education in theoretical and technical fields of agriculture. It is an agricultural university in West Bengal. So, Krishi Vidyalayas are being started to educate farmers to use better agricultural techniques. Children, I will repeat you again. Fill in the blanks. Question number 1. Growing dash leads to the shortage of basic necessities. The answer is population. So, growing population leads to the shortage of basic necessities. Second one. Dash is the most populous state in India. The answer is Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is the most populous state in India. Third one. Dash refers to the people and their skills that are used to produce goods and services. The answer is human resource. Human resource refers to the people and their skills that are used to produce goods and services. Fourth one, a condition in which a person lacks money to acquire the basic needs is called. The answer is poverty. A condition in which a person lacks money to acquire the basic needs is called poverty. Fifth one, dash are being started to educate farmers to use better agricultural techniques. The answer is Krishi Vidyalaya. The Krishi Vidyalayas are being started to educate farmers to use better agricultural techniques. B. State whether the statements are true or false. Question number 1. Family planning is a step taken by the government to control the growing population. Family planning is a step taken by the government to control the growing population. The answer is true. The answer is true. Second one. People migrate from big cities to small villages in the search of better facilities and opportunities. People migrate from big cities to small villages in the search of better facilities and opportunities. The answer is false. The answer is false. Because people migrate from rural areas to cities as there is lack of education, employment opportunities and healthcare in the village. From a highly educated person to a daily wage laborer, everyone can find a job in a big city. So, the people is moving village to the big city. Therefore, many people who migrate to cities settle here permanently, therefore increasing the population of such cities. So, people migrate from big cities to small villages in the search of better facilities and opportunities. False. Third one. Increase in population leads to poverty. Increase in population leads to poverty. The answer is true. Fourth one. China is the second most populous country in the world. China is the second most populous country in the world. The answer is false. The answer is false. Children, we know China is the most populous country in the world, but India is the second most populous country in the world. So, which is the second most populous country in the world? India, not China. Fifth one. It is difficult for large families to feed and educate their children. It is difficult for large families to feed and educate their children. The answer is true. The answer is true. Children, I will repeat again. 1. Family planning is a step taken by the government to control the growing population. The answer is true. Family planning is a step taken by the government to control the growing population. The answer is true. Second one. People migrate from big cities to small villages in the search of better facilities and opportunities. The answer is false. People migrate from big cities to small villages in the search of better facilities and opportunities. The answer is false. Third one. Increase in population leads to poverty. The answer is true. Increase in population leads to poverty. The answer is true. Fourth one. China is the second most populous country in the world. The answer is false. China is the second most populous country in the world. The answer is false. Fifth one. It is difficult for large families to feed and educate their children. The answer is true. It is difficult for large families to feed and educate their children. The answer is true.